All right, welcome to Dave's Training Room. Today we're looking at a really nice locomotive made by Scale Trains. This is one of their rivet counters. It is the GTEL 4500 Standard Turbine. If it's anything like the locomotive that they did last year, if I remember right, it was a GTEL 8500, the 3-unit turbine. I have one of those. They run excellent. If it's anything like that, this is going to be a really good locomotive. Just as always from Scale Trains, especially in their rivet counter, which is what this one is, the detail is superb. In being careful, you know, normally when you unpack a locomotive like this, you unpack it on a white sheet, something similar to that, so that if something comes loose, you'll find it easily and be able to reinstall it. Well, I haven't had this problem with Scale Trains. Their models are well assembled. Their mechanisms are excellent. Their lighting effects are outstanding. Great little locomotives. Coupled with the decoder made by loco, it's incredible sounding. The volume of the turbine is phenomenal, especially out of a small locomotive like this. It's just nothing bad to say. That's all I want to tell you. From a year of running the other one, excellent. Now, I did have some issues with the couplers. I did swap them out. They were problematic at best. They rarely coupled. But aside of that, once the couplers are swapped, just like any really good model, they've been running flawless ever since. I'm not sure if they improved the coupler on this one, but it seems to couple a lot better than the original turbine did. Okay, there's one other thing I got to address about this model, and that's the traction. The traction is fair at best. What I imagine this comes from is the fact that they had to mill a lot of the metal away to be able to accommodate things like the decoder, also the speakers, in order to make this fabulous sound that they have in it. So that sacrifices weight out of the chassis. Now, this particular model has a potential to be able to pull a lot. A while back, we're talking in the early 70s, Cato manufactured something like this for Concord. I believe it was called the Veranda. The Veranda setup was, if you look at it, is very similar. It actually had a little cavity, a walkway exposed on the outside as opposed to just flat sides. But on the inside of the model was mostly weight, for the only reason that they didn't have the speakers and the decoders they had to deal with. So the weight filled the chassis. Along with that, what allowed it to have immense amount of pulling power is it had a reduction drive. It was a drum drive, which was a fabulous setup. It allowed me to, and I do it regularly. This engine is made in the 70s. It's turning 40 years old or plus that now, but it still runs beautiful. I can pull 20 cars with it up in my just over 2% grade on my layout. It has no problem doing it. It doesn't lose traction, and it loses very little speed climbing the hill. Okay, so with that said, this model at best, now pulling up the hill, I can get about 10 cars reliably up the hill. 11, it starts to stumble a little bit. It starts to, a couple of points, decide to lose the traction just every now and then, but when I get to the 12th car, it gets the entire train on the incline and just stalls. Mind you, it's spinning his wheels, it's losing traction. That's what it amounts to be. So that's a little disappointing, but the beauty of the model makes up for it. With that said, would I recommend it? Sure. It's a great model. I don't really, well, I'll say I don't really collect UP stuff. I collect a lot of UP stuff. but I don't set out to buy older stuff because my N-scale locomotive is modern diesel. But models like these are just unique. It's just great to have in your collection. So if you're looking to have something that's unique that you'll run every now and then, let's say on a pulling out of a museum excursion or something like that, that's a great model. Okay, well, thanks for watching. Appreciate you checking out my channel. I hope you enjoyed this short little video on a great little locomotive.